Hello, everybody. Welcome to a Liz talk. Basically, I don't really know how to say this. I've been thinking about this for a very long time, months, really. It's been a while I've been considering this, and I've actually had a conversation with a couple of other content creators about the same topic before, and I'm still not 100% sure I'm doing the right thing. I'll be honest with you. I have a lot of anxiety over the concept of doing this, but I'm just going to get straight to the point. I am resigning from being an official content creator for the Fun Pimps for 7 Days to Die. I'm not going to stop playing 7 Days. I will continue to play 7 Days to Die. I will continue to play whenever the games get updated and stuff like that. I will still do my playthroughs that I normally do. I don't really know how to phrase this other than to say there are a lot of content creators that devote themselves to one game, and eventually, like Sims content creators or something like that. These types of folks, they will get involved in the games so deeply. Their games, their DLCs, the content, the whole community around it, the whole thing, that eventually it starts to change who they are as a content creator, as in their viewpoints get shifted, their objectiveness gets changed because they're an official content creator. It is in the content creator's best interest to put the best face forward for a company that may or may not warrant it at any given time. That being said, there's plenty of AAA gaming companies nowadays that are kind of sucking the big one, as you guys probably know if you keep up with gaming content in general. Bethesda is doing really bad, and I used to be like a huge Bethesda chick. I played Fallout 3, I played Fallout 4, I liked let's say I played Morrowind, I played Oblivion, I played Skyrim. I still didn't finish Skyrim, I still haven't, I will. I've played all of these. I've even played Fallout 76 recently. And Bethesda, for whatever reason, completely lost their focus on gaming. I don't know if it's because Suits invaded and suddenly everything became like corporatized. It's all the bottom line, how much money we can make and how much we can squeeze out or whatever. But they went from making good content to making dumbed down content and worse content. The storylines suffered, the options suffered. I mean, even just between Fallout 3 and Fallout 4, and I know I'm talking about 7 Days, and I will get back to that. But I'm trying to do an analogy so people will understand where I am right now and what my headspace is for making this decision. Between Fallout 3 and Fallout 4, they decided to voice the protagonist, which is a huge change. A lot of people didn't like it just because of that. But what I didn't like is it didn't matter which choice you made. Every answer, every choice that the character made was sarcastic. You couldn't be an honest character. You couldn't be heartfelt about a decision that you made because the character was already voiced and the sarcasm was already there. At no point did I ever click on an option and say, yeah, that's exactly what I meant to say. No, it's like, I didn't mean that out of that option. That is not what you just said. That was complete sarcasm. You were being an utter bitch. The point being is not only did they dumb down how the game works, they dumbed down the story. The story went from, I'm looking for my father and I have to travel all of these places to go find them, to, let's be honest, in Fallout 4, if you're playing as the dude, you were an ex-military person. If you played as the chick, you were nobody, and somehow or another you were suddenly in charge of all these factions, military or otherwise, having no military background whatsoever. It was very much, you woke up on a wagon and you were in charge of everything kind of thing. It's the same thing Skyrim did. Morrowind was a little bit different because you woke up on a boat and they really didn't tell you were anybody specifically. Nobody really knew who you were, and you really had to work to get to where you were going. But they dumbed it down. They made it easier. They changed things to make it flow better. So instead of spending 5 hours trying to stab a crab with a tiny knife in Morrowind, by the time you got to Skyrim, your battling dragons on day 2, and by the time you get to Fallout 4, you're battling a Deathclaw on day 1, basically. So there was the dumbing down of the story. There were some good things, some bad things, and now it's gotten to where Bethesda's completely lost the plot whenever it comes to how their stories are made, generated. Whenever they put out Starfield, there are some people who enjoy Starfield. I know that there are people who watch my channel that enjoy it, but when you take a specifically crafted map and make a story around it and stuff, you cannot, it's not the same as a generated map with no story and set pieces and things like that. It's just not the same. The story, the original story, the way that I saw at the beginning of Starfield, the story didn't make sense. They just like ran into you and then gave you a ship and you're off. And it's like, why? Those ships are not cheap. Why would you? Okay, whatever. All right, sure. So their storylines suck, and it's been like what 11 years since we saw the sneak peek for the next Elder Scrolls that's supposed to be coming out, and we just keep getting told, "Be patient. It's years away. It's years away. We're working on it." Um, and they've gone to reselling their game. How many times for Skyrim now? It's been like 11 times. They just recently redid an update for Fallout 4 after having messed it up like 18 months ago or some crap like that, however long ago it was. The game's been broken for Fallout 4. They finally put out another update and they're giving people mods, and then they're putting out Fallout New Vegas for $100 and some odd for a game that's like $9 on Steam or something like that, and you get like a little plastic figure or something. So obviously it's worth it because of a 3D printed figurine. Yeah. So Bethesda has, over the years, slowly worn thin this veneer of the best of the best. They were the best company out there. That was, for the longest time, you couldn't top them as far as a game. And then they started down that slow trend of losing who they were, losing focus of what got them where they were, and then sneaking in bits of ways of making money for things that they hadn't actually earned. How many times have they released the same game over and over again? We all know about the horse armor debacle. They started selling DLCs. They started selling other people's mods. Now, true, the mod authors did get paid for it, so that's cool and everything, but it wasn't like they were creating content themselves. They were repackaging it, taking a percentage, and then walking away. So understand whenever I say this about the Fun Pimps, I appreciate the opportunity they afforded me at becoming a member of the Content Creators. It's my first ever experience or foyer. That's not the right word. Foyer into this type of content. It made me feel like a big special content creator there for a little while. I got too big for my britches thinking I was official and everything. And with the recent downfall of AAA gaming, which I've talked about extensively in some of my streams, if you guys haven't seen any of my streams, we talk about random things. So I'm not going to rehash any of that stuff here, but AAA has got, I don't know, a fungus, a virus, something eating at it. There's like, I really don't even know how to describe it. It's like the people who were concerned about gaming, that enjoyed making games, that played games, enjoyed making games, wanted to create something with their own hands that other people could enjoy. Those people grew a company. And then somewhere along the line, they brought in somebody who didn't actually enjoy gaming. They didn't enjoy making games. They didn't enjoy content. They're just the money side of it. And then those money side people brought in more with them. And then before long, the people who enjoy making content and making games are listening to the people who want to make the money. And sooner or later, the direction of the company changes. It's no longer, I want to deliver the best product for the people who have been there for me. It's, I want to make the most money off of the people who are still here. If you understand what I'm saying. And I'm not accusing any company of that I'm just saying it's a pervasive thing that is obvious in gaming in general. That's the reason why there's so much paid content, microtransactions, seasons passes, battle passes, taking content out of video games and repackaging back to players as new content, new things. And in some cases, it's more obvious or less obvious that a company is doing it. And there's two different extents on whether or not you feel like supporting a company that has done things for you, that has listened to you, that has been there, that has made everybody happy. Back when Morrowind came out and Oblivion came out, I was more than happy to pay for DLC. As soon as Fallout 4 came out, I bought the whole pass, nothing but the pass, the whole pass and nothing but the pass. I had every DLC to start with because I knew I wanted that whole game, and was pleasantly surprised with how great the game was. For all of its faults, I enjoyed it. I don't regret that. After that, mods came out. Modders are awesome. They do a lot of work on games. The problem is at that point, it was like Bethesda forgot how to do what their job dictated. It was like if someone asked you for a McDonald's and then they got to making your hamburger and then like just stopped, froze at the table and just stared at it for like 20 minutes, then packaged it all up and threw it away without putting everything in there that was supposed to be in there. That's what Bethesda did. They just kind of like left the ball sitting there. There were bugs in the game that existed for years, despite updates to their modding stuff, their creation engine, their creation club thing where people were helping to make them money. They left major plot points, major missions open where they could just like kill your entire game. It was too far back. You couldn't go back to a previous save because it was like, I don't know, 20 days ago that you made that one decision that sent you down this hole that's now suddenly got you blocked, and they never patched it. And all the updates they've done since then, they've never patched it. Modders fixed it. Modders knew what they were doing. They cared about the game. They went back and they fixed it and made it to where people could continue playing it. Kept the fan base alive. That's the reason why Amazon is even able to do what they're doing by making the Fallout series. It's not because Bethesda did the initial work, but then they just left it there and they didn't do anything else. They actually did an update to where they could try and milk out a little bit more money by selling new copies with new content to people, and then rode on the wave of the movie. All of that being said, all of this history about Bethesda, I don't think I have ever seen a company that aspired so hard to speed run that whole scenario. They want to be the best company, they lose track, they get money hungry, then they expect modders to fix it and just ride the wave. I don't want to be a part of something that looks like that bell curve. I can easily destroy my own reputation. I've got so many skeletons in my closet, most of which are already scattered everywhere, closets wide open, all kinds of stuff. I can ruin my own reputation in a heartbeat. I don't need anybody else's help to do it. I don't need anybody else calling into question whether or not my channel is being honest about something, and to feel like I'm being governed or tone policed every time I say something. I feel like every time I talk about the game, I have to be careful of how I say things. I have to phrase everything. How is it Izzy Prebuilt put it? You have to say the bad thing with the good thing. You have to be constructively criticism. You have to fluff the fifis, as he phrased it. He's got a wonderful sense of humor. I think the issue is in this particular case, the game has lost its way. Now they might be getting on the right path again, but I think the momentum has already started and there's no way to pull back. There are too many people with dollar signs in their eyes. And the reason I say that is because the DLC has already been sold. It's already on the market. the new game is out, and despite Illogica and all of their hard work at whatever it is that they did, during all of the dev streams where Illogic was there telling us all about their new game that they created and all the cool zombies and how they work and all of this stuff, there was still too much from the 7 Days devs saying I and we and us. And there's still so much interconnectivity between these two games that I think it was just Rob that said they should have separated the games a long time ago. The reputation that the Fun Pimps have and Illogical, that they are getting some of this baggage that the Fun Pimps have. I can scroll through comment sections after comment sections about all of this stuff. I mean, I don't really want to do it because I'm not trying to be negative here. I'm trying to explain something. And I don't necessarily feel inclined to do constructive criticism because I don't think it's warranted anymore. I would like to say that I feel apathy towards the game right now, but I don't. I'm actually very angry. I'm angry, and I shouldn't be. As Glock put it, people are feeling things too much for a game, and it's just weird. Yeah, you're probably right. You're probably right. We are feeling way too much about a game. A lot of people put a lot of investment into the game. Not everybody has the type of following that Glock does, and not everybody gets their names inside patch notes right after they speak highly of the game anyway. So not everybody has that. And the building, the community around the game, it was enjoyable while it lasted. It was an awesome community, but the community is divided now. There are new people that are coming in from consoles that are happy to finally be included, but even they are starting to... The cracks are already starting to show for them. They went from version like 16-ish, somewhere around there, to this version after 2 or 3 playtimes of going through the game, which is pretty shallow. You can only play for so long because there's no more extra content. Instead of putting more in-game content, they stretched the middle of the game out so much. It's actually boring to do. It's not enjoyable anymore. The grind to try and reach level 6 this, level 6 that, find the right gear, get to the right biome, none of that is enjoyable anymore. I mean, just the tiny little thing of being able to, on day 1, survival, go to the clothing store, find the right clothing. Step 1 is gone. And people are talking about, well, where is your constructive criticism? The constructive criticism came before the changes were even implemented. As soon as they started talking about magical armor, people were already saying, this is not a good idea. Why would you do this? Don't implement this. Of course, there were the other people who are like, oh, this is such a cool idea. You should really implement this. I really like this. I like the Plague Spitter. I like the Frost Zombie in the middle of a zombie apocalypse. Please, for the love of God, go back to Fortnite. Do your Fortnite dance. Do your flossing if you want to. That's fine. It's fine. You don't have to be in every video game. And I know it's lovely to feel included. I felt included, and I hate the fact that I am taking myself out of it. But at the same time, I can't, in good conscience, continue to not speak frankly. At the beginning of 2.0, I did a Salty Liz compilation, and a lot of people got very upset because it's very negative. And I'm like, I don't know what to tell you. 1.0 was disappointing. 2.0 was even worse. And I know that we're coming up to, supposedly at the beginning of December, a new update that's supposed to patch out some new stuff, bring some old stuff in, change a few of the zombies, and give us a few things that we've been asking for. But I have to ask myself on why. It is so exhausting in the wide world of all of the complications that exist right now. The economy, drama, trying to figure out how you're going to eat next week. I mean, all of that. The holidays coming up. All of that. All of those things. Why do I feel like I have to police my tone when I'm talking about a video game? Why do I have to be careful about hurting someone's feelings about a game that is so obvious that you should be able to do this in your sleep. Like, legitimately. Now, the coding might be weird or whatever, how you might implement it might be weird, but the decisions should be easy. At this point, the game should have a clear path, and it hasn't had one. That's the reason nothing has been getting done. There's not been a clear path. This step, this step, this step. And we've had this list of things that were supposed to happen in the game, and every single time it's, we're going to do this, 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 and this is going to happen instead. And now we've got another game by another company with a whole bunch of us and we's, and it's like, but you guys wanted your jars back. How dare you not let us work on the... How dare you not let us work on those raiders? How dare you want your jars back? I mean, you guys just want to have an easy time in your game. You just want to make all your jars, and it's very hard to do constructive criticism and be concerned about people's fifis, as it was elegantly put, whenever they condescendingly say, it is your fault we have to do this. It is your fault because you guys steam bombed us, and we have to do it because now the game sales are going to be messed up, and our new game, which launched to obvious success, is obviously going to bomb too, and it has nothing to do with our reputation, our promises, are things that we kept taking out of a game that's supposed to be survival sandbox and trying to turn them into an RPG with magical armors and abominable snowmen slash frost trolls. It's not our fault. It's your fault. We don't have raiders yet. We don't have a storyline yet. This has been way more harsh than I expected it to be, but I have a lot to get off my chest. But I'm going to end it here because this is the week of Thanksgiving. And regardless to whether or not I'm resigning my position as an official content creator for the Fun Pimps, I am going to say I am thankful to the Fun Pimps for giving me the time, answering some questions when I had asked them, laughing at some of my jokes. I always appreciate that. I do appreciate that. And I appreciate all of the content creators out there that have ever interacted with me back. I just recently got awesome birthday wishes from a couple of content creators that I admire and I respect. And that's not something that I ever thought that I would see or experience. There has been a lovely community that has come because of 7 days. And it's probably not just me. They were looking for 7 days. They weren't looking for me. And I know some of them will probably leave because I won't get early access to a game or something like that, but I will still cover it, guys. Don't worry about it. I will still play it. I'm just not going to be beholden to a company to say a specific thing or toe the company line. I've never been that type of person. I have quit more than one job, decently paying jobs, a couple of them, because they insisted that I acted a specific way or did a specific thing or told specific lies. And I won't do it. So, thank you guys for that opportunity, and I will see you guys on the flip side. Y'all have a wonderful day, a wonderful night, and you stay shiny. Bye.